Chapter 27 of Myths and Legends of the Sioux. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Myths and Legends of the Sioux by Marie L. Mclaughlin. The Hermit, or the Gift of Corn. In a deep forest, far from the villages of his people, lived a hermit. His tent was made of buffalo skins, and his dress was made of deerskin. Far from the haunts of any human being, this old hermit was content to spend his days. All day long he would wander through the forest, studying the different plants of nature and collecting precious roots, which he used as medicine. At long intervals some warrior would arrive at the tent of the old hermit and get medicine roots from him for the tribe, the old hermit's medicine being considered far superior to all others. After a long day's ramble in the woods, the hermit came home late, and being very tired, at once lay down on his bed and was just dozing off to sleep when he felt something rub against his foot. Awakening with a start, he noticed a dark object, and an arm was extended to him, holding in its hand a flint-pointed arrow. The hermit thought, "This must be a spirit, as there is no human being around here by myself." A voice then said, "Hermit, I have come to invite you to my home." "How? Yes, I will come," said the old hermit. Wherewith he arose, wrapped his robe about him, and followed. Outside the door he stopped and looked around, but could see no signs of the dark object. "Whoever you are, or whatever you be, wait for me, as I don't know where to go to find your house," said the hermit. Not an answer did he receive, nor could he hear any noises as though anyone was walking through the brush. Re-entering his tent, he retired and was soon fast asleep. The next night the same thing occurred again, and the hermit followed the object out, only to be left as before. He was very angry to think that anyone should be trying to make sport of him, and he determined to find out who this could be who was disturbing his night's rest. The next evening he cut a hole in the tent large enough to stick an arrow through, and stood by the door watching. Soon the dark object came and stopped outside of the door and said, "Grandfather, I came to—" But he never finished the sentence, for the old man let go his arrow, and he heard the arrow strike something, which produced a sound as though he had shot into a sack of pebbles. He did not go out that night to see what his arrow had struck, but early next morning he went out and looked at the spot about where he thought the object had stood. There on the ground lay a little heap of corn, and from this little heap a small line of corn lay scattered along a path. This he followed far into the woods. When he came to a very small knoll, the trail ended. At the end of the trail was a large circle, from which the grass had been scraped off clean. "The corn trail stops at the edge of this circle," said the old man. "So this must be the home of whoever it was that invited me." He took his bone knife and hatchet and proceeded to dig down into the center of the circle. When he had got down to the length of his arm, he came to a sack of dried meat. Next he found a sack of Indian turnips, then a sack of dried cherries, then a sack of corn, and last of all another sack, empty except that there was about a cupful of corn in one corner of it, and that the sack had a hole in the other corner where his arrow had pierced it. From this hole in the sack the corn was scattered along the trail, which guided the old man to the cache. Hiding place. From this the hermit taught the tribes how to keep their provisions when traveling and were overloaded. He explained to them how they should dig a pit and put their provisions into it, and cover them with earth. By this method the Indians used to keep provisions all summer, and when fall came they would return to their cache, and on opening it would find everything as fresh as the day they were placed there. The old hermit was also thanked as the discoverer of corn, which had never been known to the Indians until discovered by the old hermit. End of chapter 27. Read by Gila Zarb Freeberg. Napa, January 22nd, 2025.